Hey Divi Nation, am I coming in loud and clear? Welcome to a brand new weekly Divi use case live stream. I apologize for the delay there. We had some technical difficulties, but for this live stream, I'm going to be showing you how to add a forum to your website using the Marathon Layout Pack. And I'll be showing you how to use the WPForo plugin to create new forums and also to style it to fit your new layout pack. So you can access this layout pack from within the Divi Builder, and go ahead and check out the video description for a link to the Divi use case blog post that goes along with this live stream. Also, you can find a link to the plugin, WPForo plugin. And also, if you are new to Divi and need a copy of Divi, I've linked you to the product page as well. So go ahead and check that out. And without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and dive in and get started. It's good to see some people are already in the comments chatting it up, wondering what's going on. So good to see y'all in here, and welcome. So yes, we hear you, Uncle Social. All right. All right. Good, coming in loud and clear. That's great. As you can already see, we have someone Nathan in there in the comments helping out with any questions you may have, and I would love to get to questions as well. So let's get started. I want to first start off by saying, or actually showing you, what you're going to be needing, what you're going to need for this use case tutorial. And let's see. Sorry, I'm having some issues here again with my display here. All right. One moment, please, while I fix something. All right. Had a system failure here. So feel free to, while you're waiting, to introduce yourself and let us know. Yes, you're already letting us know where you're from. That's awesome. And I promise to do my best to get us up and running in just a few seconds. Got to be able to see my face, see my screen here. All right, so let's switch this over. All right, now we can see our screen here. All right, so this is your Marathon layout pack. And before we get into it, I just want to, this is actually the blog post that was released today that goes along with this. I want to scroll down just to kind of show you what you're going to be needing for this tutorial. You're going to need the Divi theme. You're going to need the Marathon About page layout and the WPForo plugin. The WPForo plugin, I'll just go ahead and show you, link to that. And this is it. You can access it actually through your WordPress dashboard. It is a free plugin, and it is useful for adding multiple forums and extended versions, and it's a really powerful plugin, and it seems to be pretty secure and all those wonderful things that we would need in a forum plugin. And I'm excited to show you how to use this one. All right, so let's get back to the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be going to our forum plugin settings. So WPForo, once it's installed, you can go back to your WordPress dashboard and navigate to your forums here. And then once you hover there, you go to forums. So let's go ahead and do that. And once there, right out the box, as you can see, I've kind of updated this already, but out of the box, you're going to have a blue block here, which is your category for your forum. So you have this is the categories and forums kind of drag and drop editor here, and you're able to create new categories or organize all your forums by category. And this is an easy way to kind of visualize that process. So every forum needs a category. So this is my category. I called it marathon. And to add a new category or forum, you just simply click add new up here to add one. But since it already comes with one, all you're going to need to do is update what's already there for now. So I'm going to jump in here and click the edit icon for this category. And you can see it's easy to add your title for your category, a description for your category, also a forum slug, which will be your ending URL up there. And this plugin is actually integrated with Font Awesome. So you'll see a number of places throughout the plugin settings where you can choose what font or Font Awesome icon you want to use throughout all of the different places within your forum. So that's a neat addition. Over here in the forum options, you'll see this is actually where you choose whether or not you want this to be a category or a forum. And the category layout, this is WPForo, comes with 3 different layouts, or kind of like skins, if you would, but they actually are set up differently. They're not really just stylistic changes. They're actually a whole different type of forum. So as you can see, we have extended, simplified, and Q&A. The extended version is more for your forums that have a whole lot of topics and categories, and you want to kind of add a ability to kind of look through the topics, toggle through them a lot easier. Basically, useful if you have a whole lot of content. I've chosen the simplified version because I thought it would be good for a simple forum for your website and for our needs today. So, all right, so that's basically it. You have some forum permissions you can set up here, and we'll look at that a little bit later, but this basically allows you to completely control who has access to each forum. And registered users by default will have a standard access, and we'll get to what that means a little bit down the road. But once you add all of these elements real quick, right, your name and forum slug, and description is really all you need. Make sure you choose that as a category in your category layout. One word on the category layout, though. Whatever category layout you choose for your category will be automatically applied to all the forums within that category. So that's an important thing to remember. So you would publish it, and then you would be done. And after that, you would then go ahead and add this white block here underneath your category, which is actually your different forums. I have 2 that I created here. And to create one, you actually have the opportunity to click this plus icon, and it'll take you through the steps again to create a new forum. And then you would choose your parent forum that you would need in all this. So I'll just take you back to the one that I created here called Race Prep, and you can see how easy it was to just set up, add the title, add the description, the slug, just like you did for the category. But this time you can see that this is not a category, it's actually a forum, and it's set to be underneath the marathon category there. All right. So that's pretty easy actually to set up, and you can actually add all the topics once you actually deploy it on your page. And I'll show you how to do that in a bit. All right. All right, so next, I just want to go ahead and I know we got a rough start early on, but I do want to welcome anyone who's just joining us to this week's Divi use case live stream. Today I'll be showing you how to add a form to your website with Divi's Marathon layout pack. And I'm going to be using the plugin WPForo, and you can access this layout from your Divi builder. And I've included links in the video description to the plugin, to the blog post that goes along with this live stream, and also to the Divi product page for more information on how to get the Divi theme. All right, let's go ahead and continue. We've added our category, and we added 2 forums underneath our category. And now we're going to jump over to our forum settings. All right. One thing I didn't mention before we do that really quickly is you have the opportunity to go ahead and preview your forum by clicking this little view icon, which is pretty helpful. As you can see, this is the final version of your forum, what it's going to look like when it's all said and done. And so I think it looks pretty good. It matches the colors nicely. It's pretty clean. And so this is kind of just a sneak peek of where we're going with all of this. And so I can click through a forum here. You can see it has, once you click on the forum, you have your topics there. And once you click on your topics, then you can go ahead and see the authors to the left along with their post, and a really clean, nice looking layout. So even have the ability to, include file attachments. And the plugin actually has an add-on. I think it's a paid add-on for, I want to say it's like $20 something, but it's a kind of a upgrade to allow you to include all kinds of media to your blog posts easily, more so than this basic file attachment. So you might want to check that out sometime down the road, but I think it's really cool that they have this functionality right out the box in the free version. This navigation here is what's going to take the users through their members to preview all the members of the forum, any recent posts that have been made, and also their user profile. And I really like the user profile. Actually, let me go back to the, let's go to this member here that I set up with an actual thumbnail so you can get an idea. This member called Runner here. And you can see the profile here looks pretty good, where you can, has a sub navigation into here to view your account activity and all of this. And a little dashboard here to show the members' activity. And so a lot of great stuff, and that's just an intro, but let's get back to our settings here. Let's go back to our dashboard. And again, feel free to ask any questions you may have. I haven't exhausted this plugin to the furthest extent that I could, but I do know enough to maybe ask you some or answer some questions you may have about it. So feel free to ask those. All right, so underneath our forum settings, you go to forums and then go to settings. It's the next thing we're going to look at. You'll see has a lot of options to choose from, which would be standard for a forum plugin. In the general settings, you can change your base URL, and this is basically the URL you want your forum page to live on. So by default, it's going to be community. You can change it to whatever you want. Just remember what it is so that when you go to that page, you're going to want to add your customize your that page whenever you're adding the forum to your layouts. So you can give your forum a title here. This is important for SEO and other things like that. So give your forum a description. Let's go on to the next tab here. This is your forums options. And actually, these options only apply to the extended layout and the Q&A layout. If you remember, we're using the simplified layout, so really none of these apply. But here you could further customize those layout options. For the extended layout, you could choose to have it expanded or collapsed, and that's referring to all of the topics and toggling open messages and things like that. The forum accesses tab. All right, so this is what I was talking about earlier about how you can, how you can update the permissions or set permissions for each of your forums. And this is kind of the default access here you can set up. I'm just going to click on the standard access because if you remember, I mentioned earlier that this is what registered users automatically are given when they register for your forum. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. You just hover over it and click edit. You can see all these permissions here that are available for you to customize and update. One thing that I found out when using this plugin, which I thought was actually really cool, they do allow you to set whether or not a user can attach a file, and sometimes you can run into problems with spam and people or bots or whatever. You don't want them publishing things on your forum. So even though you actually give a user, a standard access registered user, the permission to attach a file, and if you remember, that was the ability to put in any like media, images or links, stuff like that inside the post. If you allow that, the user, when they first register to your forum, will not have access, actually will not be able to for I think it's the first 4 or 5 posts. So it's kind of like at first I thought it wasn't working, but I had to read the documentation. It actually does work, but they kind of give you a window there where they don't allow new users to do these attachments, which I assume is for security purposes, which I thought was a nice touch, getting ahead of that. All right, so after you set up all your permissions you want for standard users, you can click your update there and so on. So let's go on to the topics and posts here. Again, a lot of these I never really fooled with too much because of the basic needs for my forum here, but you could go through here and see, again, some of these options are for the extended layout only. This would be the number of topics per page that are allowed, things like that, which will be useful to fine-tuning your own forum whenever you set it up on your own site. Let's go to the members tab. This is a opportunity for you to set up whether or not you want or how you want your member URL structure to look, because each, again, member URL, as I showed you when I was previewing the forum, each member has its own URL page where it breaks down their profile and things like that. So you can change whether or not you want it to be the user ID or their name, online status, timeout, things like that. You can change whether or not, or I'm sorry, if you're using BuddyPress, for example, and you want to integrate WP or this forum plugin with BuddyPress, and Ultimate Member, I think, also integrates well with this. You can tell WPForo that you already have a login page and a registration page set up. That way, it won't conflict and confuse the user when they're trying to log in to your page. So that's a useful feature. Let's see. Let me glance over at the comments here. Peter asks, can you set up forum as standard and later update it or change it without losing previous content? I believe so. I haven't tested that, but I definitely think they would have thought about that, because you would definitely need to have that freedom to change permissions. But I'm not sure. That's a good question. I'll have to look into that. All right, let's see what else. That is a very secure feature, not allowing the files. Yeah, Monique, I agree. The not allowing the you to attach images is a great security feature. And all right, let's continue on. Custom redirects after URLs. So after a user logs in to your forum, you can set up whatever URL you want them to be redirected to after logging in, after registration, and after they confirm their subscription and their email and things like that. All right. This right down here is actually a really I want to say I don't. At first, when I saw it, I didn't really know what it was, but it's actually a really nice way, and it's not over the top way to rate your members according to the number of posts that they have submitted. So I thought this was a really excellent way to personalize things and encourage activity on the forum. So as you can see, this is all customizable, the different levels that a person can reach. You can see that there's a basic level that shows like a short badge. Let me just go ahead and go to the forum here to show you what it is by default on a user here. So if I click on a user, you can see this little icon here. It's kind of like the half star, and you can see the more that you comment, they'll work their way up the ladder to reaching this trophy here, which is I think 5,000 posts. But you can change the number of posts and all that. You can even change the icon over here with the target. I think it's a class for the font awesome icon here, which I thought was pretty neat. Cool addition. So, and you can disable this by just toggling that off, like member custom titles and stuff. So really easy to use back end here. I like the UI a lot. All right, let's go on to emails. I'm not going to really go too far into this, but you can see how this is where you would customize all of your notification emails to handle registration and confirmation, things like that. Let's go to the features tab, and this is a really impressive display of customization features. So as you can see, I scroll down the page here. There's a lot to go through, which is one of the things I like about it. In fact, the first one, I think there's five or actually 5, 6 or 7 of these up at the top, will allow you to change what elements of your forum are displayed. So just to give you an idea, I've hidden the forum statistics. So by selecting no. So if I click yes, and I go down here and update, let's go see it updating on the forums page. And there you go. You can see now the forum statistics is being displayed now, which shows you, how many people are online, how many members, things like that, and also some topic icons to kind of help you know how to read things. So, and you can also choose to hide the hide the admin bar, like this bar up here when users are logged in, which is by default selected no, because it's kind of normal not to want to include that. So you can show the forum page title or choose to hide that. You can also choose to hide this navigation bar here. And the plugin actually allows you to build or to include these same links within your own menu items up here in your primary menu. So there's a way to build this out without the navigation bar up here if you don't like that look, and just kind of include it in the Divi primary menu up here. So there's a way to do that. I didn't for this use case, but feel free to check out the documentation on that, and it's pretty simple to do. All right, before we get into styles, let's see if we have any question. What does WPForo better than Hans asks, what does WPForo better than or do better than BB Press? Actually, I haven't used BB Press a whole lot. I mean, I have used it. I've set it up and tested it out. And I think the main difference here is style changes, or the ability to work with Divi, I think, a little bit better. And from what I've read, I know there are known, they may have changed this, but I know that there were certain security issues maybe that were turning people off to BB Press for a while, but I'm not quite sure about that. But that is a good question. Overall, I chose this one because of it seems to be secure and easy to style, and it comes with all the functionality you need. But again, there definitely is BB Press websites or forums out there that I'm sure function great and are awesome. But just for this one, I thought it would be good to introduce WPForo because I guess it is fairly new compared to BB Press. But good question. All right, let's continue on to our Styles tab. Actually, if you're just joining us, I do want to welcome you to this week's Divi use case live stream, where I am showing you how to add a forum to your website using the new layout pack that just came out on Monday, the Marathon layout pack. And I'm going to be using the WPForo forum plugin. And you can check out links to get the plugin, to view the blog post, and also to get your copy of Divi in the video description below. So go ahead and check that out. Let's go ahead and continue on to styling. Now, when I first saw this style page, I kind of was confused, to be honest, and a little bit overwhelmed. You can see a whole lot of colors, which is good, right? You want a lot of options, but I really didn't know what any of these colors went to. So there's one thing I would change about this setup is I would want to know out of the right away, maybe listed on the side here, what colors these elements are controlling, what colors they refer to. And as you can probably already tell, there are different skins you can choose from to give you a head start out of the gate there with some color theme schemes. But what I'm using is a modified version of the default color scheme. And if you look here at this documentation link, this is actually where you're going to go to decode these colors here. So I'm going to go to their documentation here, and you can see the style colors are listed. So color number 1, for example, is and they give you, which is actually really helpful. Aside from the fact that it's not listed back on the actual back end, the information here is actually pretty great because it describes what it's controlling, but it also gives you the CSS IDs and classes that can target this color or this element directly using your external style sheet, or in the in the settings, you can add it right here. So you can add some custom CSS code. So if you just go back here, if you're comfortable doing that with CSS, you can just grab if I wanted to change the main font color or to change the font, for example, I can grab that and change it by pasting it in here and updating the code. So that's a nice feature. Again, the list here is pretty extensive, which is good because, for those of us who are not that familiar with CSS, you can control all these elements from from using the color changer here. All right, so let's for this theme, the colors that I did update are, let's see, the first one I did was color number 9. So that's this one right here, and it was like a light gray color, and that one refers to the background color of almost all light gray boxes, panels, and sections on the forum. So um, that would be kind of the background here of this element. It was gray, but I liked it a little bit cleaner with a white background, so I changed that to white. I also changed color number 11, which is here, and that is the actual color of the elements on your Marathon layout pack, like the text and the buttons and the icons. So I grabbed that color from the layout pack. So, and then I made that kind of the primary font colors, and actually updated the number 12 color, which was the forum's primary color, which applies to all your button backgrounds and active menu background colors. So just by updating one color, you get a whole lot of elements updated at once. So you can see that color has been added throughout the forum pretty nicely, and it was pretty easy to do. Let's continue on. I updated color 14, 15, and 16 as well. And just to show you what those are, that's the button border color, the link color throughout, and also the breadcrumb active font color, which is right here. So it does have a little breadcrumb navigation under your menu, but you can also hide that if you don't want that. All right, so that was pretty easy. The only thing I wanted to mention is that when you are up here, I did have to add one element. I guess you don't have to, but I really wanted my title here to be bigger. And so I just wanted it to match the layout a bit better. So I made the font bigger by adding some custom CSS here. As you can see, it's targeting the WPForo title element. And I just gave it a font size of 46, font weight of 600, and a line height of 1.3 em. So that is the only real custom CSS. I think this one was already applied, maybe as an example for you. I don't know. But that's about it. Oh yes, up here, the font sizes, almost forgot. So the forum's font sizes can be adjusted here. I went ahead and maxed them out because I like those fonts to be bigger. And then the post content, I set to 16 pixels. So that was pretty easy to do. And once you're all set, make sure you update your changes over here. And you can see the results. And that's pretty much it as far as the design elements of the forum. There's a couple of things that we're going to do within the Divi builder when we add it to our page. I'm going to show you how to do that now. So to add this forum to your page, you would go to, I'm just going to go to a new forum page just to kind of show you what I did. And you're going to want to, let's see, enable my visual builder. And you're going to go ahead and grab the layout pack that you want. In this case, it's from the Marathon layout pack. So I'm going to come down to my settings menu, load from library. I'm going to scroll down, find my Marathon layout pack. Then I'm going to find my about page. And this, you could use a number of pages here, but I choose the About Us page, and then click Use Layout. And once that loads, we're going to basically update some elements to include. First thing I'm going to do is delete this section. And I'm going to delete the first row. So we don't really need this one, so I'm going to delete that one. And you can see I have one row left with this image module in here. But we're going to leave the row with this full width column here. And I'm going to delete this module, and I'm going to add a text module. Since WPForo forum plugin uses a shortcode to display the forum, that's what you're going to want to do here. So you're going to want to basically, it's real easy to remember. It's WPForo in brackets. And once you add that there, your forum will be displayed. So, but we don't want to just stop there because we want to add some design here. And like a lot of plugins with shortcodes, if you include it in a text module, you can target some of those elements using the design settings. So in this case, we want to update the actual font, because if you notice in the forum settings, there was really no option to change what font, at least I couldn't find it, is used throughout the forum. And here's the way to do that. You simply go down to your text settings here, and you update your font. In this case, it's Montserrat, so you want to add that, and you can give it a medium weight, and this will be applied to the text throughout your forum. Some elements won't be targeted, like links. You'd have to do that. Oh, that reminds me. Aside from the text font, you want to go in the link tab and customize the links that are displayed by choosing a link font. So let's go ahead and change that as well. Scroll down to your heading font, heading text font here, and also set it to Montserrat. And if you're wondering, Montserrat is the font that is used throughout the Marathon layout pack. That's why I'm choosing that one. I want to give my forum some breathing room around my text module there. So it's a good idea to come down to your spacing, add some custom padding. Just add 3% to each side here. Give it some cushion so that when I go here to my, I can also add a custom shadow just to give it some pop there at the bottom. Now you can see kind of the outline there. I'm going to go back and change my background color to white. And there you go. All right, and save your settings, and you can go ahead and come down here and delete all the rows that you don't want. Actually, I'm gonna come back up to my section settings here that's containing all this, and I think there's a box shadow that's been set. If you notice how the content text module is overlapping down here over the white, that's because the section settings, there's a trick to create a box shadow, give it a negative vertical position. You can see it creates that overlapping effect. But I'm going to take that out, set it back to its default there. Actually, just take out the box shadow altogether, and I'm going to update. All right, so and when you're done, it's actually, even though it doesn't look right because it's still in the visual builder and it's using a shortcode, the forum should look right whenever you look at it. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like here on the new forum. And there you go. All right, we're getting about time to wrap things up here, but I do want to mention a couple more things. Let's go back to our original forum page. And because I'm logged in here, if I go to this topic here, this forum here, running as a lifestyle, you can see that I have the ability to add a topic. If I click on that, you'll see this toggles down here. You can enter a topic. One thing I did learn that you will need to add a description. For some reason, I don't know if it's a bug, but it will not publish if you don't have a description. Might just be my installation. But go ahead and add a description, attach files if you need, and then create your topic. And it will be published. It says new new topic, but you get the idea. And the functionality here is, or actually gives you ability to reply to comments and things like that. If you wanted to quote somebody in your reply, you would click the quote as well. All right. Real quick on mobile. If you wanted to see what this looked like on mobile, let's check that out. Actually, I'm just going to show. I'm going to shrink my screen for a bit, just to kind of show you. Here, kind of a funky view, but let's go back to our home just to show you what it looks like on mobile. As you can see, it automatically creates a mobile menu here, which is nice. All right. And that is how to add your forum to your website using the Marathon Layout Pack. So if there's, we'll go ahead and make sure see if we have any questions here. Does it work well? One all social login. Not sure, Hans, what you mean by that. I'm not, but let's see. I guess if you're wondering if you already have a login set up, will it work well with this one? I am not sure. I only know of the two that I mentioned earlier, which I think was Ultimate Member and BuddyPress, but maybe. Monique said, just to be sure that I did not miss anything, you are able to moderate the responses. Yes, very good question. Before they show up on the forum in this version. Yes, definitely you will. Let me just bring up open this up in a new incognito browser. I'm glad you mentioned that, Monique. I'm going to bring up my my forum in an incognito browser. So that way I'm not logged in, so you can see if I wanted to register, I'll click on the register here, and you can see the registration form. And once you do register, if you go on the back end, you can also log in just to see what that looks like. I'll show you. There's your login page. I'm gonna minimize this one. But if you go to your back end, there is a way to manage your members here. Go to forums and go to moderation. So, and this would be all of your unapproved and published comments that have been made, and you can choose to approve those here, and they'll just show to the user as awaiting moderation whenever they publish certain things like that. And Uncle Social says, this is the kind of video I like, integrations and inspiration. I need a breath from new Divi features. They come so fast I can't keep up. All right, well, I can't say that those are going to stop, but I definitely understand. All right. There's some other options here for you to check out, like user groups and things like that, and tools. But since we're getting close on time, I'm going to go ahead and call it quits here. Thank you, everyone, for submitting your comments. And um, all right. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Please be sure to subscribe to our blog post newsletter, and also like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday, when we will be giving a use case live stream for the next layout pack. Thanks again, and we will see you soon.